friends? It has been an age since I last did a Q&A video, so I figured this week catch up with you guys and I would do one. I went on Instagram and my YouTube channel community page and asked you for your questions, and now I am going to A them. Let's start on YouTube. ADMC Kenna Games says, what is your favorite song you have written? I think that at the time that I write them, like each one is my favorite, so I'm always excited for the new shiny ones. I don't know that I would say that I have a favorite. I usually compare it to like choosing your favorite child. I don't have children, but I've heard that that's not a cool thing to do. So, Maria Rennick says, what books are you reading at the moment? I'm not. Oh, I am taking a little bit of a break from reading because I finished the Renegades trilogy by Marissa Mayer recently, and A Court of Silver Flames. I finished that up recently as well, and I've just been listening to a lot of music lately. Next on my list is An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. So I'm excited to start that trilogy, and then I've got a couple other things queued up on my Audibles, so hopefully I'll be inclined here in the next like week or so to start reading / listening to something new. Shadowhunter Army says, did you always want to become an artist / singer? Was it already your goal when you were in school, or did it just happen? It kind of just happened. I mean, when I was young, I wanted to be, I'm pretty sure when you're a kid, you're like, I want to be a singer and a teacher and a doctor, because you think that you can just have like, 4 careers at one time, because kids are dumb. But no, once I like actually started realistically wondering what I wanted to do when I grew up, I didn't anticipate that I was gonna be an artist, a music artist, so it kind of just happened. Bella Holman says, how old were you when you wrote your first song? I wrote my first legitimate song. I'm sure I've made up like stupid stuff when I was young. I really don't hate kids. I feel like we've gotten off to a very weird start with this like negative energy towards children. I really don't. But no, my first legitimate like song was probably when I was maybe 15, 16, a sophomore in high school, around that time. It was not very good. I do have a video of it on my YouTube channel, which I will link in the description if you want to hear it. Connor McLeod says, have you listened to the Nightcore versions of your songs? I've listened to some of them. It's kind of crazy that a lot of the videos that use Nightcore versions of my songs have like more views than my videos of my songs, which is kind of wild, but it's super cool. I love seeing what people do, like different interpretations of my music, so I think it's really neat. Jay Feather Potter says, what's your process for coming up with lyrics? A lot of thesaurus.com and rhymezone.com for when I am stuck on a particular lyric. A lot of times I'll just kind of start with a little lyric snippet and a concept for a song and just try and build it from there. Shooting Star says, what do you want to be known for after you die? I, first of all, hope that that's a long time in the future, but when I'm gone, I hope that people remember my music first and foremost, and the way that I was able to connect with people, because I think that's probably the most important thing that I have done with my life. And I just hope that they remember me as a kind person that cared a lot about people and tried to live a good life. Eva says, what's your favorite dessert? That is maybe the most difficult question that I've gotten today. I don't know how to choose just one. I love a good cookie. I love ice cream. I love Reese's. Gosh, I love a good pie. I just love dessert. Cupcakes. Oh my God, I don't want to sleep on cupcakes. I love dessert. I have such a sweet tooth, it's ridiculous. Trinity Monroe said, what inspired you to write your song Test of Time? Test of Time was inspired by me looking back at some of my friendships, some that have kind of gone by the wayside, meaning I'm not really in touch with those people anymore. Some, I am still friends with, but just looking back at how friendships change and the people that kind of come in and out of your life, and even if they're only there for a temporary period of time, they can still have a really big impact on your life. So it was really just looking back at changing friendships and being kind of sad and nostalgic about that. Fire Ice asks, your inspiration to become a singer-songwriter. I think it was just my need to do something productive with all of my roiling emotions. I like to refer to myself as a sad sack of feelings, and I could have either just like stewed in that and just been emo and angsty for the rest of my life, or write music. So I decided to do a little bit of both. Let's hop over to Instagram. Ruby12420K says, what is your writing process? How do you come up with writing ideas? I just like to almost create different stories or scenarios. So a lot of my songs, if they're not already based on a story, like a book or a show or what have you, it's just based on like a little situation that I've come up with in my head, and trying to come up with the idea of what would a song about this particular scenario sound like. User.Rhea says, did you ever cry while writing a song? If so, which song? I've got a really emotional song coming out in a couple weeks actually. Here's a little exclusive. It's called Was It Just Me? And it is the first song that I've written with my producer Daniel. So that was a really cool experience. And just for some reason, I don't know if I necessarily cried while writing it, but it makes me really sad to listen to. And a couple of times when I've listened back to it, I've gotten a little teary. So yeah, so just know that we're ending 2021 on a pretty like emotional note. User.Rhea also asked, when are you dropping your new merch? I am currently working on a different way of doing merch. I'm hoping to have that going by the end of January, and super excited about some of the like ideas and things that I'm working through right now. Currently, I still have some of my older merch for sale. I will put that link in the description. I've got limited like sizes and design options, I guess, but there's still some available. They make great Christmas gifts to yourself or to someone else. So if you want to snag them while they're still available, please do. But I'm hoping within the next like 2 months to have some fun new merch for you guys. And definitely if there's anything that you want to see merch-wise from me, whether it be a particular lyric or just a particular item, whether it's like a tote bag or a coffee cup or shirts, please let me know in the comments. I definitely want to give you guys what you want, but I need to know what that is first, so just let me know. It's Valia says, do you think it's harder or easier to write songs based on books and movies? I don't know if it's harder or easier. I think it's about the same. It's just a different way of doing it because I'm trying to capture a character. I'm trying to do justice to the original material. So I feel like maybe there's an added layer of pressure, but I don't know if I would necessarily say that it's harder or easier than some of the other songs that I've written. None of Consequence says, have you ever started a song but only finished it years later? Yes, the song that I actually just recorded, I wrote kind of the little hook snippet for that probably 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even more, and just kind of filed it away. I've got a whole folder of like voice notes and little ideas, and came back to it recently and really like turned it into a full song. So absolutely. Leah_nothing says, what is the best and worst advice you have ever received? I think the best advice, this is what I always come back to, is I remember when I was a sophomore in high school, I had done the freshman musical, or the musical my freshman year as an ensemble member, and the fall play my sophomore year was gonna be a really small cast. I think it was maybe like 2 or 3 female parts. I was just like, there's no way I'm gonna get cast. I'm only a sophomore, like there's no point. And my dad said, well, the only guaranteed way you know you're not gonna get cast is if you don't try out. And that's a concept that I have gone back to a lot, which is the only way that you can guarantee that something's not gonna happen is if you don't try. So I definitely have that philosophy when I'm going into almost anything. Like the worst that can happen is, you know, it's no, but you never know until you try. And then I would say the worst advice, I just remember early on when I was writing songs, before I really kind of solidified my like music career as an artist that I have today, I submitted songs for lots of feedback. And I took, you know, feedback and critiques of my songs as like gospel truth. I was like, this is factual. And I think the thing that I took away from that I had to realize is just people's opinions. Now, constructive criticism is great. Like sometimes, you know, getting really good feedback can be very helpful on something, but especially when it comes to stuff that's creative, it's subjective. Like it's just people's opinions. Beef Luna says, are you going to make a song about Chain of Iron? So if you let me, I feel like that was kind of about the first two books, Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron. I feel like that was kind of applying to both of those books. Whether or not there will be an additional song when the trilogy is complete, I don't know. We'll just have to see. Do you like The Renegades by Marissa Mayer? Are you going to be writing a song about it? And if yes, when can we expect it? That was Miglovka on Instagram. And the answer is yes. I do like the Renegades series by Marissa Mayer. I do plan on writing a song about it, and I'm thinking that it's probably going to be like early to mid next year when that comes out, because I still need to write it. Cuddy Light says mental health check. I'm assuming you mean like checking on my mental health, which is very sweet. I'm good. I feel like I definitely want to do a mental health chat soon because I've been dealing with some like burnout, and I want to talk about that. But I feel like I am feeling better from all of that. I'm excited to have the holiday season where I'm gonna take it a little bit easier. I've still got a million things to do, but I am feeling like it's not unmanageable. So I'm doing good. 30 and Nerdy Podcast says, how ready are you for Witcher Season 2? I am very ready. There's so much good stuff coming out in like December, January that I'm excited for that I don't know where to even start first, but I am very excited for Witcher Season 2. And shameless plug, if you have not already listened to my Witcher-based song In the End, like pause this video and go watch the music video for it. It was great. I got to live out all of my like YA fantasies in that music video, and it was epic. Ceci the Fangirl had several questions. First of all, book update. Yes, if you do not know, I have written a book. I finished it April of last year. I did some querying, but not really like full out. It has a soundtrack of songs that I love that I wrote for it. And my goal is to do some reworking and make some changes and do some edits and re-query. So yes, that is high up on my to-do list. I always feel like when I'm about ready to do it, I have like another thing come up with music, which is right now my first priority because it's like my job. But I feel like I keep having new things come up with music or new ideas with music related stuff, and the book always gets pushed on the back burner. So if I ever feel like I'm caught up, which hopefully like I said, I've got a little bit of a break in the holidays that hopefully I can get caught up and really start focusing on the book again in early 2022. She also said, have you completely settled in your new home? How do you like it? I love it. This has been a great house so far. I've got a music room all to myself, which is fantastic because it just means that I'm not having to, like, my husband and I are having to constantly like move things around and almost play Tetris with both of our stuff. So that's great. And I definitely plan on doing a video showing you the new music room and my little like library downstairs. I just put up my like Harry Potter themed Christmas tree today because I thought that would be cool to have in the video. So hopefully I'll get that filmed soon and be able to show you guys my new setup. It's CJ Rogers says, least favorite Shadowhunters book. I look at Shadowhunters books like I look at Marvel movies. Like, they're just a consistent level of good. I have like my favorites, but there's not a bad one. Like, they're all kind of a high bar of good. So I know that feels like a very like BS-y diplomatic answer, but it's the truth. I think they're good. A-List Books Lover says, who is your favorite artist and why? Probably Taylor Swift. I think she's so brilliant as a lyricist and songwriter. I think she's brilliant as a businesswoman. I just am always fascinated by what she is doing. And yeah, she's my favorite right now. I've got Red Taylor's version on repeat. Like, she's the best. She's the best. Ashley Vachon, I don't know, says, would 10-year-old you be proud of you? Probably. 10-year-old me, honestly, was like a little douchey. I had a little bit of an ego at that point. This is like, what, 5th grade? I kind of thought I was like hot shit with like singing and stuff. So I feel like 10-year-old me would be like, yeah, that's about what I expected. Lit Salt Katukis says, how are you doing? I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Sarah Dancer says, have you ever thought about doing voice acting? I've thought about if I ever get this freaking book published that I wrote of like narrating the audiobook. So that's probably the closest thing that I've thought about to voice acting. I don't know if I have the kind of voice that someone would want to listen to for a long period of time, and I definitely can't do a ton of like fun, cool character voices, so I would not be able to do that, but I feel like I could be a reader on something, but I also don't know if my voice is too annoying for that. Anton Lakoljukovic, I am so sorry, I know I butchered that, and I apologize. Would you like for your song Red to be in the new Red Queen TV show? Yes, I mean, my dream is to have one of my songs in its associated like TV show or movie. Like, that would be amazing. Who knows? We'll see. I mean, even the authors don't have any control over that kind of thing. There's a whole person's job is to put together a soundtrack for you know, a TV show or a movie. I don't expect that it's ever gonna happen, but it would be amazing. K Music Artist, any advice for someone wanting to write an EP in the future? Make sure that you're not forcing anything because you think that it should sound a particular way or like a particular style of music is popular. Write authentically and make sure you promote the hell out of it and market the hell out of it. If it doesn't succeed in the way that you want, try again. You just have to be persistent because no one is gonna work harder for you than you. Cool Cat 170 says, what songs did you enjoy writing and recording the most? Really, each one of them is its own unique experience. It's always so gratifying at the end of the process when I, you know, have this completed track and it started from nothing and it came from here, and like, it's unlike anything else, and I really just try and enjoy and love every experience that I have with writing and recording. Not to say it's not frustrating sometimes, especially with the writing, because sometimes I do get writer's block and I get stuck and I get frustrated, but I just feel very lucky that I'm in a position to be able to write music and record it, and so I just really try and soak up every second of that. Aspiring Heroine says, song that came to you the fastest versus song that took the longest to finish, both lyrically speaking. The fastest I've ever written a set of lyrics was my song that's coming out in a couple weeks, because I went into my recording sessions with nothing. I had been trying to finish a song, it didn't work, and so I had asked Daniel, my producer, we've talked before about potentially just like writing something from scratch. Are you down to do that? And he said yes. So literally we started putting together a track, and then we were like, well, this is okay, but let's like start fresh and do something else, like a second option. So we did that, and then we were kind of like still lukewarm about it. So we started a third option and really liked that track. And I wrote the lyrics for that in one night. I've never done that before. That is a first. I'm really excited for you guys to hear it because it's some of my favorite lyrics, probably because I felt very accomplished because I wrote it so fast. But that is definitely the fastest that I have ever written a complete set of lyrics. And like longest, I mean, there's things that I'll write like a snippet of something and like years and years later we'll come back to it. So yeah, we're talking 24 hours all the way to probably like 6 or 7 years. So wide ranging. Caitlin Hope says, would you write a song for Malik or another ship in particular? I actually do have a song based on Malik. It is called Come Alive, and I released it in 2015 on my Come Alive EP. So if you haven't heard it, you should check it out. All right, that is all I got for you today. So just to recap, lots of new stuff coming in the next couple months between songs and merch and lots of good things. So as always, I'm really looking forward to sharing these things that I've been working on with you guys. I love you so much. Thank you for everything. And I will see you next time. Bye.